Here we have the Motorola Droid with Verizon. As you can tell, it's a very thin device, even for a tablet, compared to the iPhone. It's about the same thickness, slightly thicker, as you can see there, but the iPhone does not have any type of actual keyboard, which the Droid does. You can slide it open. As you can tell, it is a full QWERTY keyboard. It's rather large. Good looking keyboard, however it's rather hard to type on simply because it's flat. It's hard to tell where one key ends and the other begins, so it's a little bit slower to type on than than an ideal QWERTY keyboard on something like a BlackBerry Bold. But they do give you this four-way toggle here, which is pretty nice, and rather than on the Hero, the trackball only allowed you to switch screens. This one will allow you to select icons on the home screen as well, which is convenient. As for the rest of the hardware, we have a micro USB port. Unfortunately, it's not a standard one as HTC uses on the Hero. It's a proprietary one for Motorola, but that's alright. A 3.5mm headphone jack, the power button, which is rather small and hard to reach, but it works. You just press it to turn off the screen or to bring you to the lock screen, and then to unlock it you just slide that over. Another feature here is that if you want to silence the phone, you just slide it the other way, and as it shows, the sound is off, and that'll unlock it. So on this side we have the volume toggle right here, which, as some reviewers have mentioned, feels kind of cheap for the rest of the phone. The phone is actually very heavy. It's metal, back and sides. Feels very durable, but this volume is kind of wobbly. It's not a big deal though. The camera button right here in a gold accent, and that's about it. On the bottom there's nothing, and they did add this little chin here, put the microphone right in the middle. It does have these touch sensitive buttons down here that light up, as you can see, in purple. They're not ideal, but they work. For example, if you hold down the search button, it will bring up the Google voice search, and obviously it won't find anything from me just rambling on here, but and the rest of the buttons are all touchscreen. The menu button will bring up the traditional menu, the back button, all of that. I've set up this home screen as mine. It's not the one that comes standard, with some third-party widgets here, but I have Facebook and a task killer there, as well as contacts and all the standard applications here. As you can see, you get 3 home screens. It's standard Android. They included this, which is kind of cool. It lets you toggle your backlight, whether it refreshes the email and stuff over the air in the background, and Wi-Fi is over here, GPS and Bluetooth. It's good for saving power if you just want to turn off like refreshing or lower the backlight. But the only unfortunate thing is, after using the Hero, it does only have 3 home screens. That said, I never really used more than 3 on the Hero, and this works just fine. The Motorola Droid does have a faster processor, although you can't really tell it when you're switching home screens. It's kind of jittery compared to the Hero or other Android phones. I'm hoping this is just a firmware issue. I'm sure they'll fix that. Sliding this down seems to work alright. It's not jittery or anything. It follows your finger quite well. As far as the Android 2.0, they've changed the settings screen, so get all of these settings right here. It's pretty easy to find stuff. They've also added a battery use, which is pretty cool. It'll show you what specifically is using your battery the most. So if you left Wi-Fi on a lot, it might use more than 3%. I only had it on while I was in class. Android system, Android OS, the cell standby, display, phone idle. It's pretty cool. Usually display, if you're just messing around with the phone, display will use 60% or more of the battery life, considering it is such a large display, even larger I might add than the iPhone. Just slightly larger, but you can tell there that it is a larger screen. But it is a pretty cool application that they included with Android 2.0. As far as anything else, that's just pretty basic stuff. I'm hoping for some system updates, though, to fix this issue right here. And also the camera, which is severely flawed, I must say. To open up the camera application, you just hold that down. This camera will not focus. I've tried so many times. The red shows that it's not focused. It simply will not focus on anything. It's in the macro mode right now, so it should be able to focus on things that are close up. It just won't. So they really need to fix that in a firmware issue. And also, if you look at pictures taken from the phone online, you can tell there's some serious noise in the pictures. In darker areas, lighter areas, everywhere. It's not really acceptable for a 5 megapixel camera. Although it does have this flash here, which is a nice add-on, which the iPhone does not. If you wonder why I have tape on the back of this, it's a cheap way to protect it, but on the back here we do have the speaker grill, which is in gold. It's a nice little accent, something different at least. And to open it up, you just slide that down and pull this off. The battery right here, the memory card, and as you can see, it comes with a 16 gigabyte memory card right there, and that's about it. This is metal, and it has a little cushion here to keep the battery in place and keep this from rattling around. But this is the Motorola Droid, and I must say I've really enjoyed it, and compared to the HTC Hero or the iPhone, it's a much better device. The screen is higher resolution, larger than both of those other devices, has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, 3G, everything you could ever need, really, in a device. And it does run Android, so you get all those cool applications that kind of define Android. And though the iPhone does have more applications, I think I have to say Android is coming along. It's getting a lot of stuff that it was missing for a long time, like Facebook and MySpace and all that stuff. They really make Android a much better operating system compared to when the G1 came out. It was pretty basic. But as you could say, they changed the Android market. I believe this is a 1.6 update, although in the Hero the HTC did their own kind of skin for it, I believe. The Verizon applications are listed here. These are just applications that are recommended by Verizon. Movies is an excellent application. Google Sky Map, of course, amazing.